I'm here with Pat Jeal, one of the founders of Higham Eagles Football Club. So what made you decide to set up the Eagles football team?
Well, what it was my son Terry was already playing for a club under his manager, and his manager decided that he would like to start a club up of his own, and he asked me as one of the parents if I would become secretary, and his wife become the chairman, he become the manager, and we coerced another parent to be our treasurer. So that is actually how the Eagles Club started. That's how it actually started up. So
it wasn't always something you wanted to do, just something that came up?
Yeah, they just come up, and we just thought it was a good idea to have a club of our own.
Mm-hmm. So how did it go about with starting up the team? What was it you had to do to get it up and running?
Well, as we already had the team, what we had to do was we had to apply to the league, which was then the Gravesend Boys League. We had to put our application in, and providing we had a committee as such, which we did, and we had a team to put in. We put in our application and we was accepted. Then we just started up with the one team.
So what year was it when this one team first started to compete or play?
The September of 1979 was our first game. We started up with the one team, and they went on for, I think, about 2 years, and then Peter, my husband, he started up the team with my next son, Darren, and he started up as an under 11 team, and which we again put into the Gravesend League. And then after that we built up and we got people to run other teams, and we actually ended up with about 6 boys teams at the time in the next few years, probably adding a team each year as we went along.
So the first team that started playing, what was the age of that team?
They were under 14s.
You had the club up and running. How did you manage to come up with the club name?
Well, it wasn't really my idea. It was the manager who first started off, and he actually came up with the name of the Eagles, which sounded quite good. And in actual fact, Michael, my son, he actually designed the first Eagles badge for us.
So how many teams do you have playing now?
We have 12 teams playing now, under 7s up to under 18s. In the meantime, before we had these 12 teams, we actually had 2 men's teams that run from about 1989 till 2002, when we stopped the men's, actually disbanded the men's team, because the boys in that men's team actually started, quite a few of them, when they were under 10s, and Peter, my husband, actually took them right through into men's up to 2002. And then a few years before they disbanded, we started again with youngsters and built it all up again until we've got the 12 teams now.
So what's the reason for the men's team to stop?
It was because most of them always stayed with us. We might have brought 1 or 2 in gradually, or if we had a few injuries where people couldn't play anymore, but the basis of the team actually started more or less from an under 11 team, and we took them right through. So they were under 16s in the boys' leagues, and then from then on we took them into the men's league. But by the time 2002 came, they was all getting a bit too old, I think, and quite a few more injuries.
So what goes on behind the scenes to keep the teams and games running smoothly?
Well, I have a good committee at the moment, and obviously very good parents who all help. We have to do all the arranging for the teams, for their pitches, finding them pitches. Then we have to arrange for their kick-off times, because we've got 2 or 3 perhaps playing on one pitch, and you have to go to all that. You have to contact the opposition, you have to contact referees and give them all the kick-off times and things like that. And as I say, I have a very good committee behind me, which is brilliant. You can't ask for any more really when you're running a club.
So for the building up to the Sunday games, do you have to start preparing it all like the week before and start
Oh
with
yes,
it all week?
yeah, we have to start. You usually start the Sunday after the games that have just finished. Most of them play on the Sunday. They all play on the Sunday actually. You start then preparing their kick-off times, picking their kick-off times and their venues and letting the opposition know from them. So it is a week in advance you have to let everybody know.
So who is it you have to help you, like, for the club?
I have a chairman, I have a treasurer, I have a welfare officer and obviously myself, and then I've got about all the managers who run teams are usually on the committee to help. So they come to meetings and they obviously put over ideas and things like that to help us. And we obviously discuss things at the meetings and sort things out.
Obviously the teams do play in games, but they also play in tournaments, like some have been to Bournemouth and Chelsea. How do you go about getting them into these tournaments, even like the ones abroad?
Well, I do get things come through from these travel agents and we get things on the internet and things like that. They send you books and obviously you talk to your team, see who would like to do these things, and you just go through them and they book everything for you. So you just have to sort of collect the money obviously from the boys who want to go. I mean, I will say Eagles, we've been to America, we've been to Belgium, been to Holland, and various places like Chelsea and Leeds and over the years, and we've had some wonderful, wonderful times at these tournaments.
So obviously a few years ago now, you yourself and the Eagles lost someone very special, Michael, who was one of the managers for the younger boys.
Yeah.
How did you feel when that happened? How was you able to keep going?
Well, obviously it was a very sad time, but I think Michael being part of the club, he would have wanted everything to continue because he loved Eagles Football Club and he would have wanted. So that gave us really the push to keep going. We all love Eagles. We've been part of Eagles for so long now that, you know, and as I say, Michael, he would have wanted it to carry on.
So how do you feel, like, who was it who came up with the idea for the Michael Jeal Award, which is an award based on the attributes that he had?
Yeah, well, what it was, Michael obviously ran the team and he was always on our committee, and he always used to put it over at some of these meetings before he ever got ill that it would have been nice to have a club trophy that each manager nominated somebody, not necessarily boys that are the best players, but nominated them for something they've done within the club that they thought was special, and that one person, all the teams put in their nominations, and one person. So when he died, the committee remembered all this, and they actually put it to me that they would like to do this memorial trophy for Michael to be nominated every year, and I think it's been a good thing, you know. I think it helps us in a way that Michael is remembered for all that he did for the club. Actually, you know, I mean, he played for the club as well as taking on a team. So I think it's just, well, I thought it was really nice of them to even sort of nominate the trophy for Michael.
So how did you personally feel when this happened, when they come up with the idea for the award?
Well, I was pleased. I was so pleased because it keeps Michael's memory going, and I still feel he's part of our club.
What made you decide to raise money for the charity that helped Michael through his illness?
Well, we thought it would be a good idea to invite a lot of the players that Michael used to play with, who in actual fact, some of those are even running teams for me with their children now, and we invite them back to have a football match in memory of Michael, really, and they all thought it was a brilliant idea, and it included his son and played, and my nephew and my sons and all of his friends, and we all decided that we would do it, perhaps raise money and give it to the Wisdom Hospice in Rochester, because they were so good to Michael while he was there. So, and we've done it from the year he died, 2011, and we've done it every September since, and I think we've raised over £1,000 now, which I think is great, and everybody says every year, please can we do it again? So we will do it for as long as we can get people, interested to play.
So every year, obviously, there is the presentation that the boys from the club attend, where obviously the Michael Jeal Trophy gets handed out and various other ones for playing. But it's not just the boys that win trophies. Some of the teams have even won trophies that were voted for by other people.
Yeah, there is, within the Medway League, you are, each season, after each season, you have to nominate your, within your league, the most sporting team. And we as Eagles have now won it with, I think it's 3 actual teams who've actually won this award now, and I think to win a most sporting team award is really a wonderful thing.
How do you feel knowing that some of the boys from in the certain age groups have dropped down from higher leagues such as the Kent League to play for teams in your club for the simple reason they heard about the team from other people and they like the way it's run compared to their old team and they get better support from us?
Well, I feel really proud. I feel really proud that boys have heard how nice and how friendly and how family orientated our club is, and it's a joy to think that they would like to come and play for us rather than stay where they, with the club that they were with.
So overall, from when you started it to now, how did you manage to build the club up to make it what it is today?
I think it's word of mouth, really. I think where it's we are such a friendly and, say, family orientated club, I think word just gets about, and I think, people just seem as if they would like to come and join us. And, I can't say any more than that, really. I just think, I think it's just word of mouth, but we are a good club. We try to do everything we can for the boys, as to say, to come play football, prove their football, but to enjoy it.